I can't remember the last time a senior minister in the British cabinet spoke with so much disrespect about India, categorizing Indians as the largest group of people who overstay their visas in the United Kingdom. Apart from a borderline racist national profiling, the minister in question, Suella Braverman, who happens to be the UK Home Secretary, is ironically of Indian origin. Her father, a Goan, and mother, a Tamil lady. It can be argued, in speaking the truth, such niceties should not come in the way. I beg to differ. India is not a small island nation in the Pacific of no consequence. We have a certain standing in the world. We have recently overtaken Britain as the world's fifth largest economy. Even if Braverman was speaking facts, such comments and observations, especially interviews given to the press, should be avoided, or best, concern and discomfort conveyed quietly, away from the public glare through diplomatic channels. In my estimation, Braverman deliberately went to the press to say what she had to say for a variety of reasons. I will discuss all that in a minute. Also, we will scan why is it that so many individuals of Indian origin, when ensconced in a position of authority, reserve their worst for India. But first, let me extend a warm welcome to all viewers of the CAA show. CAA, as all of you know, is Conversations and Analysis. And my name is Juggi Bhasin. To join our show, press the big red subscriber button on your screen, and subscription is, of course, completely free. Suella Braverman is not the only person of Indian origin reserving their worst for India. Sometime back, US Deputy National Security Advisor Dalip Singh of Indian origin threatened India over Russian oil imports. His statements in India evoked shocked disbelief. And after that, only deft diplomatic smoothing of ruffled feathers by Secretary of State Antony Blinken and Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar brought Indo-US relationship back on track. But in the Suella Braverman case, there might probably not be an Antony Blinken to iron out the wrinkles in UK-India relationship created out of nowhere by Ms. Braverman. She has rocked not only the passing of the free trade agreement between United Kingdom and India, but in a sense, she has redefined the relationship between Britain's Conservative Party and the Indian diaspora and the Indian people at large in a very negative sense. Contrast her recent utterances against India with the statement of the Labour Party leader, Keir Starmer, who asserted that his party would not tolerate Indophobia in Britain. As Braverman moved in to wobble the Conservative Party's relationship with Indians, Starmer made a positive attempt to reshape his party's fractured relationship with people of Indian origin. There can be no doubt that Suella Braverman took this line to put Britain's embattled Prime Minister Liz Truss in a spot and torpedo the Indo-British FTA, knowing fully well that Liz Truss was personally rooting for the FTA. But more than these internal wranglings and games being played out within the Conservative Party, Suella Braverman took on this line of thinking because it is a thing with some Indian origin Westerners who want to prove how white their thinking is under a brown skin and discard any vestiges of any kind of loyalty or affection for anything remotely Indian. Contrast this obsession to keep a distance from Indian origins with, say, the easy acceptance and acknowledgements of Irish ancestry of past American presidents. You could say a deep sense of inferiority would be at play here, or a desperation to prove to the white man how far they have come in being objective and fair when it comes to anything remotely Indian. The reason why the Suella Bravermans of the world behave in the manner they do, because of the sense of shame that grips them of their Indian roots. A shame they only have foisted on themselves. The great musician Freddie Mercury never once fully acknowledged he was of Indian descent, a Parsi man to boot. When asked of his origins, he would vaguely reply he was of exotic origin. Indian American scientist Ramakrishnan, who won the Nobel in 2009, would go at lengths in interviews to not acknowledge his Indian roots. Even that celebrated Indian origin novelist Jhumpa Lahiri has played down her Indian roots. In a sense, all these people are of a different generation that grew up feeling ashamed of India. The young Indian today, and especially those who earn well and travel abroad, are proud of their Indian roots. It is also not a coincidence that the present government has assiduously helped cultivate a sense of pride among the vast Indian diaspora outside the country of their Indian roots. And that is why the utterances of a Suella Braverman are completely out of place and so discordant. The days of old when the Indian used to return from abroad and charm his relatives with suitcases full of freebie terracotta shirts and imported liquor are long gone. Indians are exposed to the best international brands at home. Indian academics, journals, and economists who migrated abroad and taught in American and British universities on returning home found they were no takers for their so-called economic and political words of wisdom. So the Juggi Bhasus, the Amartya Sens, the Ashutosh Vaishnaves, and Ashok Swains of the world rave and rant against India, with no one prepared to listen to them back home or even in the universities abroad where they teach. Suella Braverman, though relatively young, belongs to the old school of Indians desperately seeking relevance in a white Western world, and at the same time losing all relevance in their country of origin. In a sense, caught between two worlds, this breed of Indians evokes pity instead of disgust or anger. These are midnight's children refusing to see the dawn of a new assertive India which has no time or patience for these self-appointed morality and wisdom curators of another era. And so on this note, I come to the end of this episode of the CAA Show. Hope you really enjoyed this particular episode. If you like our show, do subscribe to us. And on this note, it's goodbye and cheers from my end.